All right, welcome back for the second video in the first section of review for 6th grade final exam. Remember, it will be worth your while to pause the video and try each question on your own first, and then come back to the video and play the video section to see how I solved the question and to check your answer. So we have 4 more questions here. So number 6 is the ratio of boys to girls in 6th grade is 4 to 7. So that means I know, because order matters in a ratio, the ratio of boys to girls is 4 to 7. There are a total of 154 students. How many boys and how many girls are in 6th grade? Right, so for this one, I have to add a section to my ratio. The boys is numbered 4, the girls ratio piece is 7. If I add the total, I know that 4 and 7 together would make 11. And I need that because the ratio talks about the total number of students. Well, that's not just boys or just girls, but all of them together. So if I start with finding how many boys, that was the first question, how many boys, so the ratio of boys to total number of students would be 4 to 11. And at that rate, I want to find how many boys, let's say B for boys, if there's a total of 154 students. So my job here, I can cross multiply the proportion to solve. So I can do 4 times 154, and just for time purposes, I'm going to do that on the calculator here. 4 times 154, and I get 616. So 616 equals 11 times B, which would be 11B. Now I have an equation set up, so I can put my little goalpost in here, and I can get rid of the times 11 by dividing this side by 11 to get 1B, and divide this side by 11. So B will equal 616 divided by 11. So practice that long division. That was a big skill we learned in 6th grade. 11 won't go into 6, but it'll go into 61. Let's see, 5 times. So I have 55, 61 minus 55, and bundle from there. 11 minus 5 is 6, that's a 0. And 11 will go into 66 6 times for exactly all 66. So it looks like B is 56. So there's 56 boys. Now the question had a second part. It said there are how many boys, but it also said how many girls. So there's 2 ways we can figure out the number of girls. Option 1 is we can go back and create another ratio. Instead of boys to total, we can say girls to total. But if I know that there are 154 total students and 56 of them are boys, we can figure out what is left for the girls by subtracting. So I'll take one of those 5 to make this 14. 14 minus 6 is 8. This guy is not ready to subtract, so I'm going to unbundle one of those to make that 14 minus 5 to get 98. So there are 56 boys in that class, or in the grade level, and there are 98 girls. So this is probably a good part 2 type of question, just because there's multiple things I'm answering in one. All right, number 7, determine if each fraction is proportional or not to 18/24. So my job is to go through, let's see, I'm going to write 18/24 right here, and then I'm going to drag each fraction over, drag each fraction over to see if they're equivalent. Basically, can I put an equal sign there? So if I can, you got to be able to prove it. So let's see, I know that 9 times 2 would give me 18. And if that's proportional, the same, whatever I do upstairs, I can also do downstairs. So 12 times 2 is 24. So those guys are equivalent. So I'm going to take 9/12 and put them in the proportional side. And then I'm going to take this stuff out here so I can try the next one. Nope, I didn't mean to erase that, but I did. All right, let's start over again. So we're looking at, now we're going to check. Oh, I'm going to pause for a quick second here, fix my, okay, so now I think my pen is all set, so we can try the next guy here. So now we're looking at, will 18/24 be equivalent to any of these 4 remaining pieces? So I'm just going to go through the ones first so that I can recognize right away. I know that 18 divided by 6 is 3, or 3 times 6 is 18. So I'm going to do divided by 6 will give me 3. And if it's equivalent, I'm going to take the same number, 24 divided by 6, That is also true, is equal to 4. So I can also say 3/4 is another one that's proportional. And let's see, the next one I want to try, let's go with 6. So if I know that 18 divided by 3 would give me 6, is it true that 24 divided by 3 is also 8? Let's see, 8 times 3 would be 24. Yep, so this guy is also proportional. So I'm just picking those ones in that order because they're ones that I can quickly see. Now, this next one, I'm looking at the denominator first because I could quickly realize that 24 divided by 4 is equal to 6. And 18 divided by 4 is not going to be 5. I know that 4 times 5 is 20, so that one's not going to work. Whatever I did downstairs, the same number didn't work upstairs, so this one is not proportional. And let's see, the last one we have here, now I have 36/48. So this one, I'm just going to try the cross multiplying one just to get that practice in there too. So I'm looking at, will 18 times 48 be equivalent to 24 times 36? And just so time-wise on the video here, we're going to do 18 times 48, and that is 864. Is that equivalent to, clear that out, 24 times 36, we get 864. So this guy, even though I didn't see that math fact right off the bat, those are equivalent. By taking a second look right now, I know that 24 doubled will give me 48. So if I quickly take 18 doubled, that would be 16, 2 and 1 more, 36. So they're both doubled. So this last guy is also proportional. So there's only one that was not proportional in there. So maybe a multiple choice question might give you a fraction like 18/24 and say which one is not proportional. But it could say which one is proportional. So be careful of the vocabulary in that. All right, let's see. Let's try the next question here. In 28 minutes, Mrs. Aumer can complete 1,568 multiplication questions. At this rate, how many can Mrs. Aumer complete per minute? So to me, per minute is bringing up that idea of a unit rate. How much for one, right? How much for 1 minute? That's a unit rate. So if I can complete 1,568 questions in 28 minutes, all I have to do, just as the fraction bar said, is I'm going to do some division. So the top goes in the box. So 1,568 divided by 28. And I think it would be really helpful if we list some 28 facts along the side. So 28 plus 28 would give me 56. Let's see, 56 and another 28 would give me 84. And if I take 84 and add another 28, I would get 112. Let's see, and another 28 would give me 140. And if I add 28 more, that's 168. So this is the first, second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the sixth group. So I'm just going to start with those. I might need more eventually, but I'm going to start with that list. So it's easy to see that 28 won't go into 1. I can't take 15 and make a group of 28 either. So I got to go all the way 156, and I can see from my list this is too many, so I'm going to go 5 times. 5 times 28 is 140. So if I do some subtraction here, I use 156 and I used 140. I have 16 remaining, so I'll bring down the 8. And 168, 28 will go into 168 exactly 6 times. So it looks like if I can complete 1,568 multiplication questions in 28 minutes, that means each minute I am completing 56 multiplication questions. Must know my math facts. All right, and our last question for today. Mrs. Zimmer spent $32.89 on 23 dry erase markers. What was her cost per marker? So again, we're asking you a unit rate question. How much for one? So if it's $32.89, if I break that into 23 equal sized groups, I'll know how much each group or one marker costs. So I'm just going to stick my decimal up here to start. And again, it'll be worth my time to take 23 and list those facts of 23. So 23 plus another 23 is 46, so that would be 2 groups. 46 and another 23, that would be my third group. Add another 23, and that would be a fourth group. Another 23 added to that would be 115. And if I have one more group of 23, be 130, it would be 6 groups. So that's just kind of my starting point. If I need more, I can add more to my list as I go. It's going to make the division a little easier. So now I can see 23. I can't make a group of 23 out of 3. I need at least 23 to start. 32, I can't go 2 groups, but 1 group definitely. So 1 group of 23 is 23. So 32 take away 23. If I do some unbundling, will leave me with 9. So now I have 98. 115 is too much, but 92, which is 4 groups, works. 4 groups of 23 is 92. So I have 6 remaining, bundle up with this 9, and that'll give me exactly 3 groups. So how much was each marker that Mrs. Zimmer bought? Each marker was $1.43. Okay, and that's going to wrap up our section on unit rates and proportional relationships. Hopefully you found this video worth your time to practice for that final and continue on to the next set.